Hi there, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine show with the greatest cameraman in the business today, Sonny Hersh, and your host, Avi Meyers.
Thank you, Marty. Pretty obvious I didn't get there today. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine, presentation of Sonny Hersh and myself. Dial us up on the web at www.ntnm.org, where by the time this airs, have 17,000 shows been watched, 18,000? Who knows? But thank you so much for watching. Please attend your neighborhood CAPS meeting. That's caps24.org for the website for the 24th District, which is West Rogers Park and Rogers Park, where you can find all the meetings going on in your area. And if you're out of the area, dial up 311 and they'll let you know where your CAPS meeting is. It is a pleasure and privilege, and first of all, also thanks to Joe Chuckshay for bringing our next guest, to have the alderman of the 50th Ward, the ward committeeman of the 50th Ward, the vice mayor of the city of Chicago, the chairman of the buildings committee, the chief cook and bottle washer, etc., and so on and so forth, Alderman Berny Stone. How you doing?
Good, Avi. How are you?
Good, thank you. How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
So election time, I mean, it just seems way too soon, and it is too soon.
It's coming less than, 10 months from the previous election?
Yeah.
Way too soon.
Way too soon is right. So you want to talk about the neighborhood? You want to talk about the election?
Let's talk about everything.
Okay. Okay, real good. What's going on in the neighborhood? What new developments do we have?
Well, the case with respect to the parking lot was heard by Judge Martin yesterday, and it was all the witnesses were heard, and the briefs will be submitted on the 7th of January, and he'll render his decision on that date. I was a witness in that case, primarily to indicate the history of the plan development, and I so testified. And I frankly think that this was to hear whether an injunction should be granted to stop the building of the parking lot, but frankly, I don't think they presented much of a case, and I think the judge will rule in favor of against the granting of an injunction, and I believe that he will then grant the motion to dismiss.
Right now, of course, we're talking about in Rockwell, and as you indicated on a previous show, if it is dismissed, the damages and all that go to the plaintiffs. And Greg Brewer is the one that brought this.
Well, he is not a party, a plaintiff. And I believe that he has misled the people he talked in to become the plaintiffs. And incidentally, none of them live on Rockwell. The people who testified all live on Maplewood.
Interesting.
And some of them don't even live on the 6400 block. I don't think he's ever told them that they'd be subjected to all the damages involved. And they're going to be in for a major surprise when they find out that they'll be subject to all the damages. The attorneys representing the contractor, of course, are hired by the Chicago Title and Trust, because the Title and Trust is guaranteeing over.
Oh, wow.
So the contractor has nothing to lose in this, except, of course, he is losing each day that is delayed. So he'll be entitled to recover all his damages in addition to all the attorney's fees and all the other damages involved. So I don't think these people realize that they're subject to perhaps millions of dollars in damages.
Yeah, this has been going on for quite some time. So
if they lose, Mr. Brewer, who was in the courtroom yesterday, has talked them into perhaps losing their homes or two flats, and I feel sorry for them.
I'm sorry to hear that too. Wow. Let's talk about so actually, if that court case is going to be solved soon, might digging actually start? Might they actually start constructing in the spring?
Yes, no question about it. If the court dismisses the case on the 7th, he will start immediately thereafter.
Sounds good. Of course, other buildings, other developments. Anybody else buying new buildings or?
Well, of course, the weather, of course, is against anything starting right now. Except in this case, he can. There is certain work that can be done prior to actually putting in the foundation and so forth.
Yeah, I imagine it'd be hard to dig if the ground is frozen.
Well, at this point, he's still able to proceed, but we'll wait and see what happens on the 7th.
Now, somebody told me, I don't know if it's true or not, that Northwest Home was sold.
I can't answer that because I haven't got the facts. I've heard rumors to that effect too.
Okay, I've heard rumors, but you know, you never actually know what's what and what's real. That's what.
Yes.
One of the reasons people ask me about all these things, and I figure if I ask you, then I might know the answer.
Well, I don't know. I know that there's also negotiations with respect to part of the land that Northwest Home was negotiating to buy Park Plaza,
Yeah.
and there was negotiations for part of the land that Park Plaza owns. They were trying to negotiate with Winston Towers 2 for the bus turnaround, which Winston Towers 2 owns.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that. It's not city land.
No, that's...
Now, Winston Towers 2 is actually the furthest south building that you live in, isn't it?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And they were negotiating to buy that in order to put together sufficient property to build the Erie Crown on.
Oh, wow. Is that something that actually might happen, or?
I can only tell you this from talking to my fellow neighbors in the building. I wouldn't count on it.
I hear. You know, it's funny because nobody seems to want anything near them. They always want something in the neighborhood, but just far enough away that it won't affect them at all.
Well, we're talking. First of all, the building I live in owns 4 acres of land there, and they don't feel that they've had a sufficient offer as far as the 4 acres are concerned. In addition to which, at least 25% of the people who live in the building have no intention of selling anything. They don't want to sell it under no matter what the offer was. So why would you assume that that there's going to be a sale?
Interesting. No, it's good. Well, listen, you're the expert. That's for sure.
No, to me, it really doesn't. I'm not going to be the deciding vote. I assure you that.
Yeah.
Because I'll go with the flow.
Are there anybody else looking at any real major developments? We've got the 7-story senior citizen center that's proposed. I would imagine that's on hold during the winter.
What?
I don't know if it's 7-story. Pardon?
Oh no, that's been approved.
So the Plan Commission did approve.
The Plan Commission approved that. The zoning committee approved that, and that's been approved by the city council.
So we're looking at that on Kedzie, somewhere near Albion. Is that correct?
Well, closer to the North Shore.
Closer to North Shore.
And but that is basically on hold because nobody's going to start on that until the weather breaks, and I don't know whether the current owners of that are going to go ahead with it. They may sell their interest in it to someone who's more familiar with handling senior citizen buildings. You know,
they were looking to do real estate originally, houses and.
Yeah, well, you see, that is a business where you have to know what you're doing.
Yeah. I've never been in that business.
Nor have I. So, basically, you've seen that the old Northtown Theater is gone.
Right. And
that project has started. Monsoon Plaza is more than started. That's already up to the first floor. And there will be a shopping center on the grade level and a parking lot on the second level. That's at the northeast corner of Rosemont and Western, on the east side of the street.
Rosemont and Western. That's where the parking lot was.
Yeah. There'll be it'll be a larger parking lot on the second floor of that building than was there in the original parking lot. And on the first floor will be a shopping center.
Now, one thing, you know what, there's always the rumors, and by the way, Sonny Hersh, our entire technical crew, is one of the officers there who assures me it's not true, and I want you to say it too. because there's always silly rumors that go around. But I have people telling me, oh, did you hear that near Talmud sold this Rosemont on Rosemont in California, and it's going to be a mosque?
Well, that rumor was told to me, as a matter of fact, on Sunday evening. I was on the way to a fellow classmate's 80th birthday party, and the individual who I was going with to the party said to me, "Is that true?" And I said, "I never heard it until you just mentioned it." So I heard that a few days ago.
I was told it Sunday also, as a matter of fact, and it was told by somebody who told me that as a statement of fact.
Nobody told me when they sold to the contractor who bought it to build an apartment building.
Yeah.
So I have no knowledge of it being sold for a mosque. The only knowledge I have with respect to a proposal for anything of that nature was a proposal for Granville and California, and that was not for a mosque. That was for a cultural a mosque.
That's that medical dental building?
The medical dental building was supposed to have been a Muslim cultural center. But I haven't heard anything since the original proposal, and as far as I know, it's still an office building.
Yeah, I used to have a dentist over there once upon a time.
Yes, but as far as I know, it's still an office building.
Interesting. Any other? Well, there aren't a whole lot of properties people can go to. The school's still on schedule for the spring, or? Absolutely.
That's either May or June to start. And that's they did the sewer work already for the school. We're talking Whipple and North Shore.
Yeah.
And that's been done already, and that's scheduled to start this spring. You also know that. We're still talking about making a slight change in the Devon TIF with the proposal to perhaps talking about a new library. As long as I was in the minority with respect to the library increase for taxes.
Right.
And I lost that, Bob. And as long as the money is now there from the taxes, we'll now seek to use part of that tax money along with TIF dollars to build a new library for Northtown.
I think that'd be great because that's something that that's one of the most common issues I've heard from people.
We deserve it. We have either the third or fourth largest circulation of all libraries in Chicago. Our library is something like 50 years old and should be replaced.
Yeah, people can actually park there or come near it.
We have no parking lot. We need a parking lot, and we should have a new library.
Yeah, and plus we have a great librarian, too. Hi, Rose. How you doing?
Rose is a great librarian.
Yeah. And very involved in so many really good community things, I give her credit.
Yes. So that's still one of our goals.
Yeah, that sounds good. Dad,
you want to switch now to politics?
Yeah, let's switch to politics, sure.
Okay.
You twisted my arm.
Okay. Now, the last time I appeared on your program, I issued a challenge to my opponent in the race for committeeman to take a stand. Unfortunately, he never appeared on your program. I'm hoping you're telling me that he's going to appear soon on your program. I'm hoping he will, because I'm hoping he's finally going to take a position on something. If you want to be the leader of the Democratic Party, you've got to take a position on something.
It helps.
I mean, being the leader of the party means that you've got to lead. A leader means you lead. Now, I don't know where he stands. For instance, what's his position on who he's supporting for President of the United States? You know who I'm supporting because I'm running for delegate in favor of Hillary Clinton, Senator Hillary Clinton. Last I heard, he was an Obama supporter. Is he supporting Senator Obama? And now, if he is, why doesn't he come out and say so? Because I hear in some quarters he's supporting Senator Obama, in other quarters he's supporting Senator Clinton. But he never says who he's supporting. I think he should take a position.
It would be a good idea.
If he wants to be a leader, lead. I've even heard in some quarters he supports a Republican, the former mayor of New York, but that's up to him. If he wants to be the leader of the Democratic Party, he better support a Democrat. And there's other issues in the community he's got to take a position on. And if he wants to be the leader, he's got to lead. As I told you on the last program, over the 8 years I've been committeeman, I've never gotten less than 75% for any candidate of the Democratic Party. I'd like to know, does he intend to get more than 75% for candidates of the Democratic Party? Is that why he's seeking to oust me as Democratic committeeman? Does he intend to get 85% for candidates of the Democratic Party? If he does, then maybe I should be ousted. Because if he can get 85%, he deserves to be Democratic committeeman. But he better commit himself to doing something if he thinks he can do it. And I asked you also, if one of his strong points is that he can bring young people into the Democratic Party, why didn't he do so during the 8 years that I've been committeeman? He was one of my leaders in the party under my committeemanship. Where has he been over the last 8 years while I've been committeeman? Why didn't he bring these young people into the party? I mean, these are questions that he really should answer. You know, if you want to be a leader, you got to lead. So, and he wants to lead. Now, those of you who are out there and are his supporters, I would suggest to you in particular, those of you who are his supporters, I'm talking to you now, why don't you ask your candidate? Ask him these questions. Ask him, who does he support for president? Ask him, does he think that he can get more than 75% for candidates of the Democratic Party? Ask him, what is his position on other issues that face the party? If you ask me, I'd be delighted to answer your calls and answer any question you have. You know, my phone is in the book. My phone number is in the book both at my home and at the office. You can call me at any time and ask me those questions. You might have problems reaching him because most of the time he's down in Springfield. So you might have trouble reaching him. So I don't know. He doesn't have regular hours at his office either. I do. I'm there every Monday and Thursday evening, so you can come and see me. But he doesn't have regular hours at his office. Ask him also, does he intend to, once he's elected, to have regular hours at his office? Or is he going to do it by long distance? Or are you going to have to talk to his secretary? Is his secretary going to run his office? Or is he going to run his office? I mean, these are questions that anybody who wants to be a leader should be able to answer to his constituency. And that's what I have to say. And
you definitely have said it. And at this point, I want to thank very much
the
alderman of the 50th Ward, the chairman of, well, you know the whole shot, but somebody running the election February 5th and there is early voting, so vote early, vote often. Yeah, I know you don't like that, so...
No.
You can vote early, but just once.
No, just once.
Right, and stay tuned for segment 2. We're, of course, interviewing a lot of judicial candidates, and we're going to be having Judge Alan Greiman on our second segment. Thank you so much, Alderman Bernie Stone. Good luck.
Thank you, Avi.
Okay.